Hello everyone and welcome back to the fourth devlog of the Untitled Plane Game. Technically my last video was 3 months ago, but that was about using UI Toolkit to make a solution to a problem I had, so I wouldn't count it. The video before that was 4 months ago, so if going by that metric, my last video was actually 4 months ago. During these past few months, I've been working on the game, especially on the storyline. This video is going to detail the progress I've made, but I won't spoil anything just yet. First up, in its current form, the flight minigame is extremely hard to play. Currently, you have to bob and weave through every bird and try not to hit a single one or you die and have to restart. This is a difficult endeavor, dare I say impossible, especially over the 30 seconds or more that you're meant to play this minigame in between each island. To solve this, I added lives, where each bird takes away 1 life from your plane instead of making you die instantly. The number of lives you have throughout the game during the flight will mostly increase as you upgrade your plane. However, I say mostly increase because the number of lives does not reset after each flight, meaning if you damage your plane but do not fully die, you have to repair it after you land. I've also put in an animation that plays when you lose a heart or land successfully. Second up, I did not like how the player was just an orange square that moved around the map because that's a bit boring to look at. However, the art and animations were not going to be ready for a while, and I couldn't wait until then, so I decided to put in some placeholders, and now, instead of an orange square, it's a bland person. While I was working on the story, I wanted to work on some concept art to go along with it. The first one I worked on was a map of the section of the world that the game would take place in, but to do that I needed a rough draft of each place. After creating them, I put their rough shapes onto a map. At first, I thought the map would only be a guiding hand, shaping all of my future decisions to come. But then I remembered something. One of my game's mechanics is literally traveling. That would require a map because you need to choose where you're going. Also, since my game is a pixel art style, anything in it, including the in-game map, should have a pixel art style too. And since I chose pixel art as the medium for the conceptual map, it fits perfectly into the game. So it's not a huge leap to put the conceptual map as the in-game map. So I put it into the game files, added some game objects everywhere, and now you can press tab to choose a place to go from your current location. However, when you push the button to go somewhere different, it teleports you there. To fix this, I added 2 parameters to the flight minigame, one that takes how long you're flying for and one that takes your destination. After this change, I made it so that when you push the button this time, it changes those 2 parameters and you start flying there, rather than resorting to teleportation. As you can probably see, there's a massive problem here. The world doesn't reflect the map. At this point, there's only one thing I could do, and that's create the entire world from scratch. Yes, that includes Jaina Peninsula, which up until now had been the only one I'd created. That's because on the map, Jaina Peninsula is sloping north, while in the game, it's flat. Also, I've yet to put in the peninsula part of Jaina Peninsula. Why does Jaina Peninsula, or for that matter, any other place exist? So very briefly, Jaina Peninsula is the starting point of the world where the player will learn how to trade and all that stuff. Every other POI is mainly there for more advanced trades. Particularly one place called the Mez Isles has a new currency called the Mezzoc Pearl. This pearl is a strikingly beautiful pinkish-white sphere that's only found on the beaches of the Mez Isles. This makes it so valuable that its exchange rate is about 1 Mezzoc pearl for 20 Janian conch shells. Additionally, I made it so that if you want to trade with an NPC, you have to hold the trade instead of clicking it. I'm planning on adding a setting to the eventual options menu that allows you to change how long you have to hold it for. It'll range from 0 to 5, so if you really want to, you could make it clickable again. Those are all of the changes I made over the past few months, but since it's almost 2024, I should probably reflect and speculate. Ever since I started working on this game back in April, I've been creating mechanics and story. These include the currencies that you have been hearing about and the story that you haven't. In order to meet the mid-2024 deadline that I set for myself in my first video, I'd like to work on art and puzzles. That being said, I'd rather not work on a vertical slice, which is where you try to completely create one level or one part of the game all the way through, essentially a demo. I'd like to finish the game before I polish it. I should probably include a specific goal so that I can work towards something for the next video. After thinking about it for some time, I realized that I didn't like that a trade was being described by a string. So by the next video, I'll probably have changed how trades work. This will make the 3rd devlog completely obsolete because that only works on strings. And that's the entire devlog, so see you in 2024.